So this is one of those videos that I really hope will help somebody figure stuff out, maybe prevent themselves from getting to this point. But so I'm very, very prone to depression. It's been an issue for me for almost 30 years. And one of my solutions to that issue and multiple other issues, I'm pretty fanatical about exercise, and I take it to the extreme. It's kind of part of who I am. It's just, I've always been an athlete. I like pushing things to the limit. I'm an adrenaline junkie. Blah 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 blah. My body's always been able to handle a lot of craziness. That being said, I really, I've said before that I think I'm bipolar. Maybe that's kind of true. I'm not sure, but my issue recently, I think, is that I go really hard in the gym. I do stuff with my son, which gets me a lot of activity. I'm walking around all day, like re-racking weights at a gym. Your muscles build up fatigue, but your nervous system also accumulates fatigue. And sleep is also really important for just about everything, but mental health in particular. It just, I guess the whole point of this video is to to really convince people to try to prioritize sleep. And if you're like me and you're kind of running from your demons when you're in the gym, or like running, or if you took up running, or like whatever activity, whatever strenuous activity that you've taken up, just be mindful that if you do too much, you can make yourself go backwards. So I have a history of doing too much for too long. I go really hard in the gym 6 days a week, going hard pretty much every time, harder than I should pretty much every time, doing extra stuff on the side, rock climbing, running, swimming with my kid. Like, we'll go to the pool and I'll do laps and it'll be pretty intense. Eventually this nervous system fatigue builds up. One of the symptoms of this nervous system fatigue is that you have trouble sleeping. There's some others, like you feel lethargic, you start to kind of lack motivation for certain things that you're normally motivated to do. And I ran into trouble. I've multiple times I have run into trouble. I have early morning training clients. And when I've built up enough nervous system fatigue, it makes it very hard for me to get to sleep. I can't get to sleep until a certain time just because my son's awake, and it's just not possible. Then my son gets to sleep. I try to do a couple things before bed. Then when I finally lie down, if my nervous system is sufficiently fatigued, it takes forever to go to sleep. And like, I'll have a client at 5 a.m. I'll be trying to go to sleep, start trying to go to sleep at 10. I won't be asleep until like 1, 2, and then 12, 1, 2, and then like I have to wake up at 4, and I end up getting like 2-3 hours of sleep. This happens a couple nights in a row. In my particular case, it not only messes with like my productivity, my cognitive abilities, but it messes with my brain chemistry. Sleep deprivation, it's really, and I feel so stupid for not realizing this, but I looked up the symptoms of sleep deprivation, and it's like depression, anxiety, irritability, paranoia, and I checked all 4 of those boxes with a giant ass check mark. It was bad. I mean, like suicidal depression. It's really wild how much just my outlook on everything changed in not a whole lot of time. I was barely able to, I mean, I would be with clients talking about something, and then I would have to stop and just totally forget what I'm talking about, like looking in the sky, trying to remember and like put the thoughts back together to get the words out. And it was like just struggling in that way. And then when my mind was not occupied by something like that, like I was still trying to go hard in the gym, and I'm just like thinking about blowing my brains out during my rest periods. Like the intensity and the persistence of the suicidal thoughts that I experienced were just as bad as they've ever been. And there's been a couple instances where it's been pretty bad. Like it makes everything hard. Even just everything was pointless, everything was hopeless. I'd be like taking a scoop of protein to put in my protein shake, and like while I'm doing it, I'm just thinking like, what the fuck is even the point of this? And like it's just wild. Like absolutely no ability to be positive in any way, shape, or form. Anxiety was pretty intense. Irritability, like, just to give you one example, my ex was watching my son. I ran to the store really quick. I got her like one of the fountain drinks, and when I got back, I went to go put it on the counter, and I like the fact that I spilled it was probably because of lack of sleep. Like I didn't lift it high enough, and it clipped the counter, and I spilled a bunch of it, and I got so pissed. There was like a thing of pork rinds and chocolate covered raisins and cashews, and I just started throwing shit on the ground. I made a big mess with the chocolate covered raisins. Like just something little like that just made me totally lose my shit. And shit, I don't even want to, like, even a little bit of paranoia too, which honestly I don't even want to talk about that. But it's important, especially if you're getting older. I get kind of confused because my body can still do a lot of the things, pretty much all the things that I used to be able to do when I was 18, 20, 22. I can still do everything that I used to be able to, but I'm just not as durable, and that long-term fatigue builds up a little easier at 37 than it did at early 20s. When I was in college, I was like working 20, 30 hours a week. I was going to school full time. I was playing soccer for the school, sleeping like 5 hours, just like totally running myself on fumes all the time. But because I was young, I could handle it. Things were all right, but that's not the case anymore. But yeah, this is getting a little bit long, but I just wanted to make a public service announcement, sort of, that maybe there's somebody else out there that is in a similar situation and hasn't figured out what's been going on. I was sleeping like 2, 3, 4 hours if I was lucky, but that was only once or twice, like a string of like 6 days. Like even on the days where I didn't have to wake up early, I was like, it took me forever to fall asleep. And yeah, that builds up, and again, I feel kind of stupid because I know how important sleep is I know how important recovery is, but I'm very arrogant when it comes to stuff like this because I'm just used to doing crazy shit, and I think I can handle it, and I don't want to admit that I can't. And I'm trying to make some changes and try to be smarter about certain things, and a little more realistic, and trying to keep longevity in mind, because it's a vicious cycle to go up and down and completely wear myself out. And it's hard because I think that I'm doing good. I feel like I'm being lazy. I feel like I'm making excuses if I take it easy, if I skip a day at the gym, if I try to rest, because this has been my thing for a long time. It's kind of been part of my identity that I do crazy stuff that not a lot of other people can do, and it's hard to get old and realize that things aren't the way they used to be. But anyway, I hope this video helped somebody. I hope this video informed somebody, and I'll catch you on the next one.